News coming to you once again from the world-famous Parkway Diner in Stamford, Connecticut on this Monday, 3 June, the year of our Lord, 2024. And, what was the theme again, Eric? Government henchmen are up to it again. Oh, yes. Okay, we have our usual calls to action. All right, yankeet.news, like, subscribe, donate, buy our stuff, tell everybody. And of course, up beloved Sally Fink with the Continental Tribune, TheClTribune.com. Visit, like, subscribe, donate, and tell the universe. And the fact that Bob McGuffey has won the nomination to run against Jim Himes, more than ever, we need you to donate. Donate to his campaign, help him out. It's going to be a big mountain to climb, especially since we know that the communist Himes has managed to amass quite a war chest for his campaign. Okay, so I really like Chris Powell. I think he is a good guy when it comes to being a columnist. And so the latest is the title, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but not really. Connecticut needs innovation. Needs innovation to end poverty and violence. So he starts out by juxtaposing the fact that Governor Lamont just now announced $100 million of your money to be allocated to what they call innovation clusters. Now, I find this very odd because it was a smaller amount of money that was dedicated a number of years ago to, I think they were called Innovation Centers of Excellence. And so the program was to award money to 5 places. So Danbury, Stamford, Groton, New Haven, and I want to say Farmington were the recipients. And I can tell you that with the possible exception of Groton, nothing ever came of that money. So now he's decided to come back and go in big. But the problem is, are you really going to innovate? What form of innovation are we talking about? So Chris Powell really did take a broader view on this, so we got to give him credit for that, right? And so he's basically saying, we've had all these examples of violence just in the last couple of weeks, and it's amazing how poorly the state has responded to these things. So his answer was, let's see if I could find it here, if only one of these innovation clusters could figure out how to end gun violence in the cities, or better still, figure out how to reduce poverty in Connecticut. He's simply recognizing it for a long time there's a correlation between poverty and violence. Okay, we get that. Now, the part that's not, I mean, he brings it up, okay, but it needs to be hammered home a lot more forcefully. What you have is this system of welfare in the state that's gone on for decades. So everything, for example, that the late Rush Limbaugh used to complain about with respect to welfare is still true, and it's still true twice over in Connecticut, okay? And so all the problems that you see with broken families and, what you say, school to prison pipeline situations, it's all there. And so he's thinking, well, it'd be nice to come up with a way to solve those problems. We're going to talk about innovation. But then the last part of the article, which I think is important, and by the way, I do highly recommend you read it. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There's actually a group of people who sit around and ask the question, gee, I wonder how good the government is at taking care of customers. You know, how is customer service at that DMV window? Or when you have to pay your taxes or some other such thing. Okay, well, there's actually a rating system. There are people who track this around the country. So they compare state to state. Who does a better job of where the government provides, I got to do it, I'm sorry, air quotes, here it comes, customer service. Government giving customer service, I'm having problems with that. We're dead last. Connecticut is dead last in customer service. And by the way, I want to add, on a totally unrelated note, Connecticut is also dead last with respect to the environment for renters. So there are so many areas where Connecticut is just a dismal failure and they don't want to look at it. Okay, so spend a little bit much time on that. Anyway, the next thing, quickly, all right, this is being touted as a great accomplishment by Yale University, how to do it right without a fight. Well, I have something else to offer, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it takes to have perfect conformity. If you want to have a power transition in the Yale educational system, you need perfect conformity. So at first I thought I was being a little unkind here to this woman, Maury McInnes. And so she's at Stony Brook, and I'm reading on, and I find out, lo and behold, guess what her background is? That's right. Race, slavery, and power in the 19th century academic South. So she's just, her academic credentials are unassailable. Okay, it's the subject matter, okay? So if we're going to talk about CRT, DEI, right? This is going to be four square in the middle of all of that. And so Yale is trying to hang on to it for dear life, and now you get somebody who, in a sense, intellectually has a vested interest in it. So yeah, it's conformity that gets you what you're looking for here. She'll probably be there for a long time, but we will learn more about Ms. McInnes. Moving on. All right, so this has been going on for several months now, so please understand, it's 2024. 2024, that's right, which is 4 years after 2020, when the pandemic started, excuse me. So we had something called ESSER funding, which is used to help schools deal with the impact of the pandemic on these schools. So, okay, today we have an article in the Mirror, I want to say, and it's a long article, I gotta say, by the way. So her name is Jessica Harkey. Oh, this is too much. And she spells her name Jessika. I don't know what to say to that. Not very smart. In any event, the point is, this, ladies and gentlemen, this article is a textbook study in how to take an issue and totally twist it to your own purposes, okay? This was added money, extra money, money not intended normally for education. But now we're throwing our arms up in the air and say, oh my God, all the horrible things are going to happen. You know, the parents come out, say, you got to properly fund education. It was never intended for education. And if you know enough about ESSER funding, it's worse than that. So, yeah, just wanted you to know about it. Meantime, as I'm sure you're aware, so I would say out of all the things that are in the aftermath of the guilty verdict against President Trump, I would say that the fact that in 3 days he raised $200 million speaks volumes, okay? People, at what point do the Democrats realize that this has backfired? Maybe someday we'll find out, maybe someday. Okay, meantime, so the ever awful Dr. Anthony Fauci was testifying in front of Congress today. American Thinker came out with a little article focusing on one simple fact, that Dr. Fauci's office was doing everything it could to stiff arm everybody who had a FOIA request for his office. And what was the trick? They, just like he redefined gain of function, they decide to come up with new spellings for key words. So if I'm asking for virus and they decide that virus is spelled rivus, I guess you're out of luck. They can't be responsive because we don't have any viruses here. We got lots of rivuses, but no viruses. Yeah, so this goes into that. And it's this guy who's come into us before, David Morans, that we're learning more about, who seems to be the bad actor in this story. But yeah, definitely check that out. Here we go. You ready?
Also, this is the...
That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. We can always sneak you in. Okay, so sue until it's blue. That's the new saying by the Democrats. Sue until it's blue. Lawfare out of control. And the model for this is what's happening in Wisconsin. As you know, Robin Voss, who, by the way, is a Republican, has been found to be quite the individual in defending election fraud in Wisconsin. So this gets into what's going on there, and it really takes a good close look at how the Democrats are going to use lawfare to a fare thee well. However, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just offer a note of hope here. Fine, they can keep doing this, but it's going to get more and more ridiculous, all right? So, for example, there was a woman who had Trump flags next to the Biden campaign. It was 4 years ago, and she's been sued, it's LAWFARE, that she was causing emotional distress for the Democrats because she had her flags next to their campaign. 4 years. This is ridiculous. Okay, so the take-home message is, when you're doing stuff like this, you're desperate. Okay, you don't have anything. So now you're going to play this out, and you're going to hope you come up with something better. But at some point, this will come to an end. It won't work. Okay, the title for this piece is, this is the reason that the FBI needs to be 100% dismantled. Okay, and I'm putting it nicely. So the title is Trump Campaign Finance Director says he's uncovered FBI's dark new coercion plot to stop Trump. So here it is. The FBI is targeting rich donors around the country, and who knows, maybe even overseas. I mean, you've had donors from Pakistan for Biden, why not others for Trump? And that they have approached these rich donors and basically threatened them with lawsuits, with trouble, with things they don't want to have. So these rich donors have to keep in mind that the federal government has unlimited resources. Yes. So that is the basic information we had, and we don't know much more than that at this point. But I want you to read the article. There it is. The link is up. Meantime, all right, if there's a, I'm going to just do it. Pardon me. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Yeah, it's going to be a happy day, all right, when we get to get mass deportation going. Yes, sir. So here we go. Biden offers mass amnesty to 350,000 asylum cases. They've been quietly doing this, but now finally it's coming to light. And you know what? It's just, I only can hope and pray that these things will be reversed, okay? Oh yeah, that's right. I got to go through this again. I'm so sorry. All those flubberduckies. Yes, we got more on flubberduckies now. So it turns out that the flubberduckies don't work very well. All right, no, I'm sorry. Flubberduckies are responsible, says Oxford University, for quingdingbits and schmuckitis. However, if you don't take the flubberducky, you do not get any quingdingbits or schmuckitis. So there it is. Go check it out. And now let's talk about the economy for a moment. Not good. Not good. All right, there's something called the Institute for Supply Management Index. It's expressed in terms of percentage, and it's supposed to be an indication of just how much demand there is in the economy for goods in order to support manufacturing. If the value for the index reported on a monthly basis is higher than 50%, that means the economy is expanding. If it's below 50%, that means the economy is contracting. Okay, so the latest number is 48.7%. So this indicates that the economy is contracting. And guess what happens when that happens? Treasury yields go down, and yeah, guess what? Cost of borrowing goes up. Now, this is a moment of irony, all right? So bear with me. We remember when Hunter Biden's laptop first came out. Oh, shock and amazing. How could this even happen? The dummy left it off at some computer shop somewhere. And so the owner of the shop is going through it and makes this discovery. Now all the denials come. Oh my God. So on and on. Oh no, that couldn't be his laptop. Oh no, this is fake. Oh no, it's another Russian plot. Oh no. Well, that which was ridiculed and maligned has now become state's evidence. How do you like them apples? State's evidence. So yes, we know that there's a trial coming up for, I think it started today, concerning certain gun violations and other matters before the IRS. And yeah, guess what? The state's going to be using the laptop as evidence. We'll just see how that goes. So stay tuned. Now, there's been a lot of talk. I'm sure you've heard it, that very soon the market's gonna crash. Yeah. First of all, look at all the debt that we're in. All right, inflation is hanging on. Interest rates are stubbornly holding their place. This all works against everything that's needed in the economy. Unemployment will probably go up, et cetera, et cetera. So that's your backdrop, okay? That's the one where you're gonna go, whoop, holy crap, bad things are gonna happen. Meantime, in the foreground, what happens with the New York Stock Exchange? Well, it was Berkshire Hathaway stock that in mere seconds dropped 99%. Boy, have you ever heard of the Great Depression? Now, it took a longer time than a few seconds, but some are saying it's just a technical issue, just a glitch. Some technicians screwed up in the back room, so we shouldn't have to worry. But I would question that, okay? This is not quite what you call a trial run, but if you need to stage a market crash, you got to make sure you got this part down just right. So the warning to you, folks out there in the audience, if you're listening, make sure you have hardcore paper copies of everything you have, because when this goes down and they can't recover the data, they're just going to be looking at you and saying, SOL, sorry. And the only way you're going to get your money back is if you have paper proof of what was in the account before the accident. So be informed. All right, the last thing. As you know, we continue to follow what goes on with January 6th. And this is more of a, sort of an op-ed, but I think it's worth noting. You know, not enough has been said about how the Democrats' constant reference to January 6th as a coup has been just on its face absolutely ridiculous, absolutely silly. There's no way a bunch of people going into the Capitol building could possibly take over the government. I mean, do you have any sense of how big it is? And if you're talking about taking over the government, you can't forget the military, all right? If you're going to take over the government, you got to take over the military. It's a simple point to keep in mind. But with the Democrats beating their chest, wailing, gnashing of teeth, they don't want to look at that, all right? So there are that many other points made in this very good article. So that's item number 10 on our list. So you definitely got to go check it out. And we will be back next week. Thank you very much.